Well, welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and let's see what the millions of active Palworld players have been up to now that people have put some serious time into the game. After more than 100 hours, I realize I can repair all by pressing R while using the repair bench. People are making some discoveries and realizations, such as, wait a second, if I just put stairs in front of my mining and woodcutting sites, I can just disable them whenever I want. We're also using R to quick sort into storage. Apparently, you can also use R to repair all. That's insanely convenient and works super well. 180 plus hours in, I'm the proud owner of every in-game legendary schematic without butchering any pal. I didn't know butchering pals was like necessary or really needed for that, but this got a lot of upvotes, so yeah, you can just grind it out by fighting all of the boss encounters. Some players didn't even know you could get them from butchering, even though it does make sense because it's on the drop table and it's the same thing as if you defeat them or catch them. That also goes into like all the breeding that happens, so yeah, you can do a mass amount of breeding or catching or whatever and still obtain everything. Guess it takes some luck, but players are up to stuff. We have this, how you fix ranch pathing. Yeah, because they wander outside and they get stuck and that's kind of awkward, but didn't know this was a thing. So the idea is like you build a large platform that's elevated for the ranch and then you tear it down and somehow that just kind of works. Also, man, like even though I've been building and playing a lot, I don't have that Fortnite in me to actually just be like, yep, I know exactly where to put everything, quick, boom, build it up, there we go. That's really nice and convenient though, because they're still working. You can see that when this thing first gets built. It's grazing. Like, alright, ranches are weird. Some people realize this when like it gets half buried by just terrain and still functions. But having the storage immediately under the ranch, that's the tech. Interesting. So yeah, that works. That's pretty huge. PSA for anyone who hasn't unlocked this but is considering it, don't waste the tech points. Thought it'd be cool to create a graffiti wall in my base, and while it's neat to see the paintings, they disappear after a minute or so. Yeah, I haven't messed around with the decal gun. Sounds like a cool thing, but it doesn't really do anything. Also, now that a lot of players have beaten the game, or at least made it far enough in the game with all of the early access content currently available, we're just starting to get into Minecraft mega base building and crazy techniques. We've seen this with Animal Crossing, we see this with any game that allows building. People develop tech, they develop building styles with the bits and pieces that are there, and they make some incredible things. A lot of people are also using like the terrain, so they build into the terrain to make it extra interesting, and this is going to be like the Anubis base. Also, you unlock all kinds of things. You can just use, like, look at that. They are using PAL stuff, like PAL buildings, to enhance the feel of this, because you got all these hot springs everywhere. Nice little oasis feel. Wonderful. And then you put the fancy PAL beds right there, and it just looks like a great little place for everyone. And then the tons of unlocks for furniture. I mean, it's in the game. All the furniture's like, yeah, the devs are like, yo, this is base building. You can make your ultimate dream base that isn't purely about function. And then we've seen all kinds of crazy builds come through. So just an idea of what's developing for the builds and fun stuff like that people are coming up with as, yeah, people are just putting time in the game. I got nothing else to do. Let's go make the Anubis base. Theme it out really nice. Dang, it's even got the waterfall. Ah, but there's the edge. So, little sneaky needing to happen here. All right, now this one is interesting. Just in case anyone was curious, I tried it, and it's still just a little cold. How is the large scorching egg right next to lava still a little cold? A lot of people finding this funny. However, this is not immediate advice to take. WTF, I have a base at the volcano region. Under the roof, they're a little bit too hot. Why? And then scorching and dragon eggs. So I'm going to guess that the pictured incubator is not in the volcano region, but it's in the small volcano river to the right. And yeah, you can kind of see that from the screenshot. And then it just goes into a good discussion about niche heating and cooling mechanics. Roof reduced temperature by 1. I'm able to enter my house with the fire vest, but if I try to go outside, I take damage without the fire armor. My base is set in the volcano desert. So this is an ore-based spot with 2 different temperatures for anyone playing on default settings. And then the north and south end of the volcano region are hot, but the central area is normal temperature, despite having lava everywhere. So Very specific stuff. They have an electric cooler. The volcano is a perfect temp for scorching and dragon eggs. Whew. So much. Solution to stop pals from randomly filling chests. It's so simple. And like at first you're like, there has to be something wrong with this, right? But no, you always have your money on you, so you can just take one from the stack, put it in. And if you need to make room, just take the coin and put it into your coin stack that's already in your inventory, and you can use it to limit chests like this to funnel pals to specific places. So pals that are working, they're not gonna like wander around and put junk things around, do some weird stuff. Just don't auto sort your storage. That will stack the coin blockers, and that makes sense. But if you're already like kind of managing everything as it's filling up and as work is happening, that's actually really nice. So going back to like base building and all the optimizations and crazy things people are doing, like that, it seems tedious, but it's one of those things where it'll work out in the long run, like really optimizing your storage in a Minecraft base after a while. I do see some issues where if you hit like 9999 on a stack, then who knows what's going to happen. So, and then you kind of need a junk thing for any overflow or extra new items that go into the system. But you can just like split this stack and you can have like multiple stacks of that. As long as you don't auto sort, you should be okay. And yeah, a lot of interesting tech. And at that point, like you've beaten the game, but if there's more post game, there's more content added in, all kinds of stuff. Efficiency is king, especially when we have like automation and stuff going on. So fun little tech people are coming up with about the game. Let's change the pace, or change the topic in this video. Choose one, rest will be sent to the butchering station, choose wisely. This isn't even hard. Like, why is it this one? Relaxaurus is whatever. I never liked it, looks a little too dopey for me. Depressed is a meme. Anubis is just a Lucario ripoff, and Chillet is the best. So, like, this is the easiest one of these ever. Now, you put Quiver and Chillet, and a couple others in there, and now we're having problems. Well, that's where I stand on this discussion. Like, comment, subscribe. All storage units and how much space they have. So just a nice little informative thing. The PAL container. That was my biggest mistake. It cost so much. I made it like a central part of the storage in my base, but then no, just the metal storage has 40, 24 on this, 20 on the lockers. The lockers suck. Any of the decoration just kind of suck because it's more resources to get the same amount or less space. Maybe it helps, like, because you can put them in a nice little spot. But yeah, overall, kind of weird. Other storage, 15, 12, 10. So on. Would be really neat to have this information in the crafting menu at developers. And then with IVs, passive breeding, and getting perfect pals, and all of that insanity, we got some takes coming out saying, I just don't recommend doing this. 100 attack and defense IVs on top of the best 4 passives. PvP going to get wild. Also, again, like raids, in-game content. They're definitely going to have to introduce systems that like max out IVs or make it easier to condense pals or something. And then the game is just going to get better and better from there. Or if at least a raid guarantees max IVs and there's a way of injecting passives into pals, that would be pretty awesome because we've seen that quality of life develop through Pokemon over the last couple of generations. And then thinking about it, it could also still kind of keep breeding relevant because you need tons of pals for the condensing, and maybe you can take a raid pal and breed it, like skip a step or save some resources. If you played the breeding minigame at all, you know it can be pretty difficult to get all 4 of your desired passives on a single pal. For reference, I got 18 Shadow Beaks with all 4 of my desired passives, but this is the only one with 100 attack and defense IVs. I had 100 hit point in the equation, but haven't gotten it, so 250 eggs of a legendary to get perfect everything except for hit points. And then to get to that point to begin with. Until more in-game content is released, breeding for better pals just a time waster for personal enjoyment. Nothing in the game cannot be beaten with the average player's skill and as caught pals. Just pretty nice. Also a little bit of essence and upgrades and some RNG on the passives to kind of make it work. Honestly, I'm okay with that. 3,000 hours into Ark, where breeding several perfect beasties was 100% required to be competitive. Now, I never played Ark, but I know friends that put hundreds of hours into servers and stuff, so it is kind of like striking that balance between, well, you do have to grind, you do have to earn a good pal, but also making it not absolutely psychotic for thousands of hours to have like the most competitive stuff, but then like PvP and base building, but the PvP isn't going to be as griefy according to the devs. So like a lot of really interesting interactions here, but then kids these days don't want to work for their things. That's why we see so much cheating in Pokemon. It's gonna be interesting to see how this develops. Also, a lot of cheaters and servers already. At least the Palworld devs are taking great action against cheating. So hopefully all this stables out, or stabilizes, gets balanced, and then like just kind of gets better and better. Palworld is already an incredible game with over 100 hours of content in just early access as something that started off as a meme release, where I think the devs only expected like 50,000 concurrent players. Hype. And I think that's everything to talk about for this video. Players finding the neat little tips and tricks to help things even though they've been playing for a while and it might seem embarrassing. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.